my own boxing community. Um, I want to get into this Devin Haney versus Tank Davis sparring session and some of the things that's going on in the boxing world behind this whole situation. Um, because I believe the subject of Devin Haney and Tank Davis sparring, the whole story's been around for a few years now. I mean, this is old news. And I guess the sparring session between them at the Floyd Mayweather's gym during the what they call the doghouse rule sparring session, where you spar and it's until the last man is standing. Okay. And those type of sparring sessions, it get a little heated. Those type of sparring sessions get a little heated. And whoever quits, I guess basically that's the winner of the sparring session. Now, I've seen some footage and I've watched in the past while Floyd Mayweather was an active professional. I've seen footage of doghouse sparring over there, and you could get whooped on the whole sparring session. And if the other guy quits, technically the guy who was getting beat up the most, even though he's still standing, wins that sparring session. So it's a mixed feelings on there that like this, like I said, that whole rules thing. This isn't the first time that Haney and Tank Davis footage. This footage has came out before. It came out when these guys weren't as popular, and then it just got brushed under the rug. So now that these guys are popular, longer videos and more people talking about them sparring has come out. And this is all to sell a fight, right? So Ryan Garcia, Floyd Mayweather, I mean, like all these guys speaking on the sparring, it's just to sell the fight. It it means nothing. They're trying to sell a fight. Okay? And that's it. Now, my thoughts on sparring, and I think everyone, in my opinion, there's a lot of people that are taking this sparring section in the wrong context. Like they're not understanding how sparring works. And I know that there's a lot of guys who watch boxing who never boxed before, or they don't, or if they didn't box before, they didn't study the sport long enough to understand how sparring works. Okay? And also there's levels, right? There's levels. The boxing gym, this isn't, when you're in a gym boxing, right? There's levels. So it's not like you could be a 20-year-old, super mature 20-year-old fighting a guy that's 16 years old in the streets, and it can be even. It can be even because you guys are on the same playing field in terms of this guy's a street fighter, this guy's a street fighter, whatever. One guy might win. One guy might be stronger. One guy might be faster. One guy might could wrestle better than you. Whatever the case may be, in terms of just being an average walking person on the streets, it's equal. Okay? In the boxing world, it's not like that. Okay? In this footage, we are looking at 19 or 20-year-old Tank Davis versus a 15 or 16-year-old Devin Haney. Now, I'm not saying there hasn't been any 15 or 14-year-olds beating up on older guys in the boxing gym. It happens all the time. I've seen it. Okay? It happens all the time. I've been in boxing gyms and I've seen younger guys beat up on an older guy in the boxing gym. And now whether the older guy is new to boxing, whether the guy isn't what he used to be, and the younger guy is faster and he's learning and he's better, whatever the case may be, I've seen older guys lose to younger guys. But I've also seen more seasoned, older boxers, more experienced boxers who've sparred better competition, who've had better opposition in the amateur, spar a younger guy who don't have those, that who's not on the same level as him, get beat up by the older guy. I've seen it. And I know a lot of you guys out there seen it. Salute to my brother Jedi. And I know you guys seen it out there. Plenty of you guys who've been in the boxing gym know that a lot of the times there are younger guys, younger, faster, stronger, that can beat the older guy. And then there's the older guy who's not that much older, but older, is more seasoned, stronger, heavier, more body, his anatomy, his physicality is more mature than the other guy, and he beats on the younger guy. And in this case, when it comes to Devin Haney and Tank Davis, you can see, although Tank Davis is shorter, Tank Davis is the more matured physically fighter when they're sparring. He's older. He might be heavier. Okay? They're also wearing headgear and they're wearing 16-ounce gloves. We all know that Tank Davis has more punching power. We know that Devin Haney doesn't have any punching power. So along with headgear and 16-ounce gloves, of course Tank Davis he's going to be the aggressor because he feels that Devin Haney can't hurt him. He's more protected against a guy that doesn't have any punching power, whereas Tank Davis has pop. And even though Devin Haney is wearing headgear and they're using 16-ounce gloves, if any of you guys sparred before, you know that you can get hurt against a guy who could punch even though you're wearing 16-ounce gloves and headgear. It happens all the time. You can look right on YouTube and you see guys wearing headgear, even guys wearing that stupid headgear that covers your whole face. They get hurt. It happens, especially when you're sparring a guy that has punching power. Okay? This is sparring, and that's all it is. If you look at the bigger picture on who has fought better opposition, better fighters, harder fights, Devin Haney or Tank Davis, you go on BoxRec and you will see that Devin Haney has fought the better opposition, the more talented fighters than Tank Davis. And when you're fighting guys like Lomachenko, skilled boxers like Kambosos, schooled seasoned fighters like Linares, schooled seasoned fighters like Prograis, you will become a better fighter more and more. Each time that you fight better opposition, you will become better. It's whereas when you're fighting some people like the Leo Santa Cruzes and the Rollies, you're not going to really learn much if you're in there with a guy who has no way of beating you. Every person that Tank Davis fought, no one picked any of those opponents to beat him. None of those guys. But people picked Prograis to beat Haney. Some people picked Lomachenko to beat Haney. Some people thought Kambosos was on a roll. He beats Teofimo Lopez. He's going to outfox and outslick Devin Haney. Some people thought that the school, more seasoned school, even though he's past his prime, a lot of people thought Linares would beat Haney. We haven't seen an opponent like that yet with Tank Davis. And even though he's supposedly about to fight Frank Martin, we're still seeing that. And it has nothing to do with punching power. It has nothing to do with none of that. Because in the 80s, there were plenty of people who thought Trevor Berbick would beat Mike Tyson. There were plenty of people who was picking Larry Holmes to beat Mike Tyson. There was a lot of people who thought Pinklin Thomas would beat Mike Tyson. Tyrell Biggs would beat Mike Tyson. Tony Tucker would beat Mike Tyson. So it has nothing to do with punching power. It has to do with the level of opposition that you're fighting. Tank Davis, although he's dominating his opponents, he's not fighting guys like Devin Haney, which is why I don't think the Devin Haney fight versus Ryan is this two of the best fighters in the world fighting each other. No, because I put Ryan Garcia in that same category with the Leo Santa Cruzes and the Rollies. So we all know that this is just a money grab for Devin Haney. Devin Haney is going to easily beat Ryan Garcia. He might even toy with him just to make it look more entertaining. That's how bad Ryan Garcia is. Ryan Garcia is Jake Paul, except he's a professional. He's there to sell tickets. I don't even think this guy cares about winning. But at least he's showing that he's not afraid to fight certain opposition. So, in terms of sparring, when we're talking about sparring, so there's many different categories with sparring, right? So let's say Brother Jedi has a fight coming up, and he's fighting a guy who knows how to fight on the inside. He knows how to, because Jedi tall, he got the long arms, so he wants to keep his reach, keep his stick out there, and set up his shots with his jab and get his timing down. But he knows that he's in there against a guy. His opponent is a guy who likes to come in, throw in fainting, coming in, cutting off the ring, and he likes to fight on the inside. So what Jedi is going to do, he's going to go find a sparring partner that's going to fight him in that similar fashion. But here's the thing. Jedi is not going to go in there and just keep his stick out there and work on his jab. We got that established. What he's going to try to do, he's going to let the sparring guy that he's sparring fight him on the inside. He's going to stay on the inside so that when he's in a situation in the actual fight, he knows what to do. And then let's say Jedi is sparring this guy, and then the guy is beating Jedi. Okay, he's beating Jedi. He's getting him. He's catching him. It doesn't mean that Jedi is getting beat up by this guy. What it means is he is learning his craft. He's trying to learn, okay, tomorrow I'm going to work on this again so that I don't get hit in the body. I don't get caught with hooks on the inside. I don't get roughed up on the inside. That's how it works, right? He's working on something. And now if someone is filming it, okay, we got a Red Glove filming it, and then Red Glove says, oh man, Jedi was getting beat in sparring. I got the footage. And so now we're sharing all this footage out there saying Jedi got beat in sparring, when in reality, he was trying to learn his craft, learn certain things, learn mistakes so that he knows, okay, I need to do this in case I'm in a position in the actual fight. That's what sparring partners do. That's what they do. It happens all the time. Okay? Holyfield was training with David Tua for Mike Tyson. David Tua's whole job in there was to mimic Mike Tyson coming in, moving his head side to side, and Holyfield got to capitalize on it. And when you watch the footage, you see David Tua is tagging Holyfield. It doesn't mean that David Tua could beat Holyfield at the time, because if it was a real fight, he would be able to beat him. But he is learning, he's training for the fight. He's training for a specific opponent. Throughout history, there's been tons of boxers who sparred other professionals and they get beat up by that guy. But when they fight in the actual professional fight, the guy who used to get beat up in sparring wins the match. It's happened all the time. It's the same as fighting in the amateurs. There's a lot of fighters out there who fought a guy in the amateurs, got beat multiple times, and then they go to the pros, and the guy who used to beat him in the amateurs can't beat him now. Right? It's almost like if Danny Garcia was to fight Terrence Crawford at 147, we all know that Danny Garcia beat Terrence Crawford in the amateurs. No one would pick Danny Garcia to beat Terrence Crawford. No one would pick Danny Garcia to beat Terrence Crawford. They wouldn't say, oh, they're not going to pick him. Oh, yeah, Danny Garcia beat Terrence Crawford in the amateurs. I'm going to bet my money on Danny Garcia. No, that's not how it works, because one has elevated into a certain level. Mayweather put the spin on it. And exactly, and that's the other thing. Mayweather put the spin on it because it's his guy. It's Tank Davis' guy. And I'm glad you brought that up, Jedi. I'm glad you brought that up. Now I'm going to bring up a point, and a lot of people don't know this, and you guys can add blood. You can ask Blood Boxing, because I'm sure he remembers it. 97 Rough used to have a radio show called Leave It in the Ring, one of the best radio boxing talk shows ever on YouTube, and I wish it was still around. And there's a sparring session between Lamont Peterson and Floyd Mayweather. Okay, now a lot of people don't know this. Again, I'm not lying. You can ask Blood Boxing. I know that he remembers this interview. Okay, there was rumors circulating that Lamont Peterson was beating up on Floyd. Okay, this is a fact. If you could go on YouTube, you could probably find somewhere where people are talking about it, right? And bless Lamont Peterson's heart, because he's so humble. Okay, and 97 Rough asked Lamont Peterson about the sparring session, and you could tell that from his answer. You could tell that there was validity to the story that everyone's heard, but because he doesn't want to ruin an opportunity for getting paid to spar, because Floyd Mayweather pays you to spar, he said, I remember his answer was along the lines, hey man, you know what? It's just sparring. It's just sparring. And then I believe 97 Russ after him, well, how was he? Was he fast? Was he quick? And he was like, man, you know, we spar all the time. He's learning on some things. It's just sparring. It's just sparring. Floyd Mayweather is one of the best fighters out there. Something along those lines. And we all know if Lamont Peterson was to fight Floyd at 140 or 147 pounds, no one would pick Lamont Peterson to beat Floyd. Floyd would probably school Lamont Peterson for 12 rounds. What happened was Floyd was practicing on his defense, practicing on the craft, and all it was Lamont Peterson was getting through the guards. That's all it was. It wasn't like, oh, I'm just beating up on Floyd every time we spar. No, Floyd Mayweather was learning his craft. It's the same thing goes with Muhammad Ali. Every story out there you hear guys talking about Muhammad Ali. There's footage of the people talking. Everyone knows when Muhammad Ali spars, he's never serious. He's there to absorb punches. That's one of the main things Muhammad Ali does. So there's tons of stories of guys that he sparred beating them up. But guess what? When it come down to the real fight, we see what happened. We see what Ali is doing now. We see why when he's in a professional fight, he could absorb power punishment to the body. He's letting guys punch him in the body when he was training for George Foreman. I mean, he's letting guys hit him to the point where he was getting injured. This is what I mean about when I say it's just sparring. Now, to go back to Tank Davis and Devin Haney, yeah, it looked like it was a heated sparring session. And it was a little sloppy at times. But these guys are young. Everyone knows in the boxing gym when you guys are young, when you're at a certain level, a lot of the times you don't know how to take it easy. That's professional level. These guys are still learning their craft. These guys got an ego still. And so, yeah, they're going at it. It happens sometimes in the boxing gym. It happens during sparring. And it doesn't matter if Tank Davis was to beat Haney 10, 15 times in sparring. We don't know what the fight would be like in a professional fight because Tank Davis has no intentions of fighting Devin Haney in a professional setting. Him and Floyd and the rest of his team are content with having that BS footage of them sparring. For them, that's a victory. For them, they're using this footage to sell whatever fight they have going on. And this is promotion for Haney as well. So it doesn't matter whether or not Tank Davis beat Devin Haney in sparring. Look at the accomplishments. One is a former undisputed lightweight champion, which is Devin Haney, and now is a current champion at 140. We're hoping after Ryan Garcia, he fights Teofimo Lopez, right? And then we have Tank Davis, whose next opponent is possibly Frank Martin. Frank Martin hasn't beat anyone worth talking about on his resume. And that's the guy that Tank Davis is fighting. And it's going to be on pay-per-view. And it's going to cost a lot of money. And whatever controversy that Tank Davis is going to be putting out there in Floyd, there's going to be a lot of controversy going on social media and all that because they're going to be trying to sell the fight. And this is just the beginning of it. They're reeling the fans in for their next fight with Frank Martin or whoever. So they're reeling them on in, and they want to put their business in Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia's matchup because Floyd Mayweather likes to have attention put on him. He feels like he's bigger than the guys that's active now. Haplotype salute. He feels like he's bigger than the guys now. So again, all it is sparring. It doesn't matter who beat who in sparring. There have been multiple stories out there. Tons. If you could go and watch Nigel Benn and Roberto Duran sparring. That is professional sparring right there. You can see Nigel Benn going at least 75% on Duran when Duran is given about 45, 50%. And it looks like he's trying to rough Duran up. But that's what Duran needs because his next opponent was a bigger guy. So he's learning to deal with the heavier weight, to deal with a big puncher. So he's learned that's all it is. It's just sparring. When you're at a certain level, you start to spar people into practice on stuff and learn your craft, learn your mistakes. You can't. It's like like I said, if Holyfield is training to fight Mike Tyson, he's not going to hire someone like Tyrell Biggs or Pinklin Thomas to train prepare. He's going to fight someone like Tommy Morrison, someone like David Tuaz, who he had previously. Because you need to find that person that's going to prepare you for your opponent. Now, again, we have no idea what Tank Davis is planning on doing. Okay, he's almost 30. He's 29. He's going to be 30. Him and Tank Davis probably won't ever fight. And if they do fight, it'll probably be at 147. It will most likely be at 147 if they ever fight. Sorry about that. What's happening is Tank Davis is probably, they're going to wait it out. Tank Davis is going to have all these easy fights while Devin Haney is fighting and fighting and fighting. And they'll probably wait till Devin Haney loses. Maybe wait till Devin Haney slows down. And maybe that's when they'll fight him. It's a typical Floyd Mayweather tactic. That's all it is. So for all the people, all the fans out there talking, taking sides, oh, it's Haney, the Haney guys. Oh, well, Tank Davis is technically quit, and Haney made him quit, and he took the money. The dad, we can see the dad taking the money. And then you got the guys with Tank Davis. Oh, he was beating up on head Devin Haney. He whooped on him, and he'll whoop on him as a professional. We don't know who will win out of those two as a professional. We don't know. They have to fight each other and show us. Right now, if they were to fight at 140, I used to favor Tank Davis at 135. I'm not going to favor Tank Davis fighting him at 140. And if there's no rehydration clause and Devin Haney is weighing 160, 165, I'm sorry, but he's going to be able to absorb Tank Davis's punches. He's going to be way too big for him at 140. And I think he would just outwork Tank Davis. That's what I believe. But that remains to be seen. We need to see these guys fight. You know what I'm saying? We need to see these guys fight. There's nothing better than watching two guys fight in their prime. And we could see what's going on. Tank Davis is almost 30. He probably, for the next 2 or 3 years, Devin Haney won't be on there. He won't be on there. So they probably won't fight each other in their prime. That seems to be the norm in this generation. But who knows? All I can say is Devin Haney isn't bigger than the belts, like someone left on one of my videos told me that, not Devin Haney. Tank Davis isn't bigger than the belts. This one guy left a message telling me that Tank Davis is bigger than the belts. He's bigger than boxing and all. He's not. He's not. What he is bigger than is he's bigger at picking proper and hand-picked opponents better than other guys. That's what he's good at. He's good at carefully selecting his opponents. Ellerby and Floyd and all those guys are great at selectively picking their opponents carefully. That's what they're good at. While Devin Haney is trying his best to do great things. Again, it's not his fault that Ryan Garcia is popular. All of us know that Ryan Garcia really isn't that good. We all know that Devin Haney is going to win that fight. This is a money grab, so be it. Tank Davis got the money grab fight with Ryan Garcia. Why can't Devin Haney do it? Devin Haney had some hard fights recently with good opposition, and he may have dominated, but they were still on paper harder fights. I think he deserves the easy touch with Ryan Garcia. I really believe that. You know what I'm saying? But as far as them two beating each other in the sparring, again, guys, it's just sparring. It wasn't a real boxing match. It doesn't matter about the doghouse. It doesn't matter how Devin Haney was getting roughed up. None of that matters. It doesn't matter. What matters is Devin Haney has more accolades and more accomplishments and fought better opposition than Tank Davis. And it looks like it's going to continue to be that way until Tank Davis steps up and starts fighting better opposition and fighting in a weight class where he's going to stay there. Supposedly he's fighting Frank Martin at 140. I don't know. He has fights at 135. Then he has certain fights at 140. Ryan was above 135. And then Ortiz was at 135. So Tank Davis is playing with the fans, right? Because he's technically not a 135-pounder. He's not a 140-pounder. He's whatever fight that's more comfortable for him that particular night. That's all, whatever his opponent is. That's where Tank Davis is. So I don't want to hear. I'm tired of people talking about who he should fight at 140, who he should fight at 135. Because you know what? We don't know what weight class Tank Davis is in. We have no idea what weight class Tank Davis is in. But we know what weight class Devin Haney is in. He's at 140. We know what weight class Teofimo is. He's at 140. Matias is at 140. Prograis is at 140. We know that Lomachenko and Kambosos is at 135. These guys aren't jumping up and down in weight classes throughout their whole career. Some fights, Tank Davis is fighting 130. Then he's fighting 135. Then he fights at 140. Then he's back at 135. He could do that because he's a short dude and he's still kind of young. He could play around with his weight. But he's not no Henry Armstrong. He's not holding 3 titles in 3 divisions and defending it. No, he's not that guy. And he'll never be that guy. So it's just sparring. All you guys out there, you Devin Haney fanboys and you Tank Davis fanboys, y'all need to take a chill pill. All it is sparring. Doesn't matter who won or who lost in that sparring session. Again, it is just sparring. Okay? Salute to everybody. Salute Haplo. Salute Jedi. Subscribe to my bro Haplo Type 0. Subscribe to my bro the Jedi. Subscribe to my bro Hardline Boxing, aka the Boxing Librarian. Subscribe to Brian Harkin. Subscribe to Blood Boxing. Subscribe to Red Glove Militant. And then that's what we're going to do. That's what we do. Devin Haney at least has some dedication. Exactly. Devin Haney is dedicated. He stayed training. He stayed in the gym. We know that his daddy talked too much, but his daddy is taking him, putting him into the right direction. And that's all that matters. That's all that matters. You feel me? Ryan, that's okay. I don't know what Ryan is on, man, but he's definitely, Ryan Garcia is definitely, he's Jake Paul. He's a professional fighter that is on par with Jake Paul in terms of selling tickets. Now, if boxing skills, yeah, Ryan Garcia is a better boxer than Jake Paul, because Jake Paul is not a real boxer. But in terms of selling fights and being a person that's just there to sell tickets, that's what Ryan Garcia is. Ryan Garcia is probably at the point of his career where it doesn't matter if he's losing to these big names. And these big names will take that because they know that they could probably beat him because he's just not that guy. But I don't take Ryan Garcia too serious in his fights. He's just who he is. He's an Instagram guy. He's there for the ladies. He has fast hands. He's a fake influencer. Yeah, he has fast hands. He has quick hands, but he has a lot of flaws. He keeps his chin in the air. He stands straight up. He fights in a straight line. He's fast, but he telegraphs his shot. Like, he has all these different flaws, man. He just doesn't know no defense, not much head movement, and he's training with Derek James, who trains his fighters to fight in a straight line, 1-1-2, 1-1-2, 1-1-1-2, triple jab 2, same fight, same way over and over again. And he's just going to get hurt. He's going to get hurt. The footwork of Devin Haney, the volume of punching from Devin Haney, he's just going to outwork him. Now, Ryan Garcia possibly has a puncher's chance. I'm not really too sure about that anymore because of the amount of weight Devin Haney is going to be on fight night. And I'm pretty sure Ryan Garcia, because he is a big boy, he's going to be heavy too. I'm not really entirely sure whether or not the whole puncher's chance is going to be a factor in this fight. But it is boxing. And if you do have a little bit of pop, if it is, what's up, 1-2 kid? If you do have a little bit of pop, you do have a puncher's chance. But I just don't see Ryan Garcia doing anything to Devin Haney, who, in my opinion, has improved a great amount after the Lomachenko fight. If Ryan listens to his trainer, he'd be way better. But when he listens to it, his people are telling him he's got this. Yeah, the thing about it is, I myself, I don't believe that Derek James is that great of a trainer. I mean, he's a cool trainer. Don't get me wrong. But the game plan that I saw that they had for Terrence Crawford, whether or not it would have been effective or not, because I don't know, because he lost, but the game plan that they had, it didn't work. Okay? So, I don't know. Wasn't Derek James training Charlo when he first lost to Tony Harrison, if I'm not mistaken? So the way Ryan Garcia fights, I don't see Devin Haney losing this fight. Like, honestly, I see him dominating. I see him dominating it. Doesn't matter, Oscar. He ain't gonna listen anyway. Yeah, you're right, man. Did you see his game plan versus Tank? Yeah, and that game plan was horrible. I mean, he was there. I mean, he was letting Tank measure him. The smaller guy, he was measuring him. Like, it's just so bad. Just, to me, he's just, the game plan was to quit. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was a good body shot. I didn't get hit in the body right there that night. So I can't really claim that he quit or not. But in my opinion, I think he could have got up. And I think he could have continued fighting and go out on his shield. If I know if that was Miguel Cotto, he would have went out on his shield. I know if that was Triple G, he would have went out on his shield. You know what I mean? I know certain fighters, you know what I mean? Certain guys would have went out on his shield, man. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Haney got to run into something for Ryan to have a chance. Exactly, 1-2 kid. And I don't think he's gonna run into anything. I think Haney is gonna be more poised. I think his defense is gonna be on top. And I think they know all Devin Haney got to do is just watch the Trinidad and Bernard Hopkins fight. How Bernard Hopkins kept his hands up, right? He kept his hands up, and he's protecting himself from the left hook the whole time. And he outmuscled and outworked Trinidad. That's all Tank Davis got to worry about is that left hook. Everything else, Devin Haney got this in the bag, man. You literally run to it on purpose. Right. I like I said, Haney is gonna outwork him. In my opinion, I feel like he's gonna win, man. But in terms of going back to that sparring, again, it's just sparring. Like I said in the beginning, it's just sparring. Tank Davis is fighting the lower level opposition, and Devin Haney is fighting better opposition minus this Ryan fight, but he's fought better opposition, and he is more accolades to show so far on paper who the better fighter is. Bernard won because 911 conspiracy. I don't know about all that, man, but I don't think Trinidad was going to be able to beat Bernard Hopkins. Bernard Hopkins is well-schooled, natural middleweight, was heavier than Trinidad on fight night, bigger than Trinidad on fight night. Trinidad really don't look that big at 160. He may be tall, but he didn't look that big like he used to look when he was at 147. Even at 154, I don't think Trinidad looked super big. Not even at 154. Definitely not at 160. But he did have the size on him when he fought at 147. And I do believe that Oscar De La Hoya beat him when they fought. But, that was a get back for when Pernell Whitaker was cheated out of his victory. versus Oscar De La Hoya. Um, and but that's okay. Um, Sometimes the judges, you know, they they don't pick who should win. But this Devin Haney and Garcia fight, Haney better be on his A game because we don't know what those judges are looking at. And Ryan Garcia is the ticket guy, and if he wins, he will catapult to even a higher pay per view star if he wins. So Devin Haney got to be on his A game and make sure that these judges see every shot that he's landing, because, but I already know, because Haplo, because we never know in this boxing, man. These judges, hey, sometimes they will pick the guy that's selling tickets, man. Salute to everybody that came on, man. I appreciate you guys. Salute that guy. I didn't even see you in the comments. That guy, salute, man. The only thing Ryan has is a massive shock that would absolutely crazy if it happens. A chance. Yeah, yeah. You and listen, man. Ryan got the hand speed, but I don't think he has the right trainer to teach him how to use his hand speed, how to use his size. That's what I think. I think if Haney had a trainer, because he has the power, like back in the days, like Emmanuel Stewart, or even Emmanuel Stewart's nephew who trained Fury. He needs someone like that that's going to show him how to use his power, how to leverage his shots, how to fight like a tall guy, but still not fighting with your chin in the air, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? It's that's just what it is, man. But salute to everybody, man. Thanks for coming on, and man, leave your comments below, man. Let me know if y'all want to see me do more lives, man, because I plan on doing more lives, man. You know what I'm saying? Haney gonna win, okay? Discipline. Ryan is too caught up in Hollywood. And that's another thing, Haplo. I'm glad you brought that up. That's another thing. Ryan Garcia is really just a social media darling. Like, he has all these followers, and that is the reason why he got so popular. He's like that actor who can't act, but he has a million followers. And so these directors and producers and writers pick him up or her up to star in their movie, even though they can't act. It's just because they have a whole bunch of followers. You know what I'm saying? Ryan is drinking and smoking. He a cover girl. He's Zendaya. You know, I'm starting to think if Ryan Garcia was just pretending to be smoking, pretending to be drinking, because in certain athletic commissions in certain places, smoking weed is a no-no and you could get popped for it. It's just like a PED. So I think it's all just to sell tickets and have people talk about them. That's what Ryan does. Just like when he pretended, I seen a video when he pretended to buy some people some shoes in a shoe store. It's all just to sell tickets, man. It's all, I don't think he's really smoking. I don't really think he's drinking. He's saying controversial things about the nappy hair and all that, which I don't think, I think it was a tasteless joke. I think it was an immature joke. So, you know, it wasn't funny at all. So, you know, it is what it is, man. Ryan is all in clubs doing cocaine. I don't know, man, but he's definitely there to sell to chicks who don't know jack crap about boxing. Ryan is Menudo status. Yeah, man. Ryan Garcia is J-Lo now. He's the J-Lo now that ain't got no ass anymore. That's who Ryan Garcia is right now, man. Salute to everybody, man. Boosie Bella. Hey, man, y'all salute, man. Thanks for coming on, Haplo Jedi, man. Salute. Y'all subscribe, man, to my bro Haplo and the Jedi, man. The Jedi, you know, he got the good shows. Haplo goes live every now and then. I always catch it late, replay, because Haplo goes live at such an odd time that, It's usually when people are asleep. But I hope to catch Haplo on there so I could jump on his panel, man. But yeah, man, salute to everybody. Please like, share, and subscribe, man. Holla.